For as long as humans have looked up, the sky has really grabbed our attention. It's this huge, open space above us, where our dreams mix with what we think is even possible. The sky has always stood for freedom and big goals. It's been like a stage for amazing stories, a blank canvas for our tales, and a safe place for secrets we haven't figured out yet. The sky isn't just empty space. It's a lively, breathing place, full of life and chances. It's a place that has made people feel wonder and awe in every culture and for many, many years. Long before people even thought about flying, animals had already become experts at moving through the air in amazing ways. They took every chance to get off the ground, going beyond what their bodies could do and breaking free from gravity. Their trips through the sky aren't just about staying alive. They show how clever and adaptable they are, skills they've perfected over countless generations. All over the world, from the thick, dark rainforests to the hot, dry deserts, creatures have found clever ways to beat gravity. In all these different places, we see animals that have come up with special ways to fly, glide, and even fall in a controlled way. Each of these changes shows how much they want to survive and how creative nature can be. Whether in the steamy jungles of the Amazon, the windy plains of Africa, or the icy parts of the Arctic, the sky is full of living things that have turned the challenge of being in the air into an opportunity. Gliding, jumping, soaring, every move through the air tells a story of new ideas in how living things change and the constant fight to survive. The flying squirrel, for example, turns a simple jump into a smooth glide, while frogs jump with strong, arching movements and birds ride the wind easily. Each of these actions is the result of many changes over time, and each one is like a chapter in the big story of life trying to conquer the skies. Even the smallest creatures have found ways to travel through the air. Spiders, for instance, let out thin, light threads of silk, catching the wind and floating to new places. This simple act is an amazing example of natural engineering. It lets these tiny builders move to far-off lands and escape danger, all by using the invisible air currents. Our journey will show us animals that have changed their bodies into wings, and others that have found amazing ways to launch themselves into the air. From the gentle flutter of a butterfly's wings to the mysterious quick flight of bats and the surprising jumps of flying fish that cross the line between water and sky, each one is a master of its own part of the air. These creatures have changed not just to live, but to do well in the three-dimensional world above the ground. Some animals have learned to use the hidden powers of the air itself. Birds fly easily on rising warm air currents, while insects float and dance in even the softest breezes. By understanding the small signs of wind and weather, these creatures can travel long distances with very little effort, turning the sky into a road that connects different lands and living places. For these animals, flying isn't just a nice thing to do. It's something they absolutely need. It's how they find food, get away from animals that hunt them, and look for new homes. Every trip through the air is an adventure, full of tough parts and good things. Chasing food, escaping danger, looking for a partner or a place to build a nest, all of these happen in the huge stage of the sky. Their achievements in the air are like complex dances of science and nature, made perfect over millions of years. Muscles, wings, and natural instincts work together perfectly with nature's rules, creating amazing shows of teamwork and grace. The way starlings fly together in sync, the exact movements of insects, and the strong wing beats of birds, all of these show the detailed dance between life and the natural world. Think about the huge birds that ride the mountain winds, using every upward gust of air and warm current to stay in the air for hours, sometimes even days. The condor, with its giant wings, glides easily above cliffs and valleys, a living symbol of how well it controls the air. Or the flying snakes, which launch themselves from tree branches and wiggle through the air, gliding between tree trunks with a smoothness that makes us rethink what we thought a snake could do. These amazing feats push the limits of what we once believed was possible in the animal world. Each of these creatures has found a secret to moving around in the three-dimensional world, adding a new part to the story of flight on our planet. Their changes are as different as the places they live, and each one gives us a special look at what's possible for life in the air. By watching these amazing things, we get a deeper understanding of how complicated and beautiful nature is. We start to see how these animals have inspired humans to dream of flying, to invent things, and to push the limits of what we can do. Their stories remind us that wanting to fly high is something everyone feels, connecting different kinds of living things and different times. The sky belongs to any creature brave enough to reach for it, a shared dream of flight that links the past and the present. It reminds us that our limits are just the beginning for new discoveries. As we start this journey, let's be amazed by the hidden builders of the air, and celebrate all the endless possibilities that are waiting above. Way up high over the rough mountains of Patagonia, where the air is thin and the winds blow really strong, the Andean condor is king. It's the heaviest flying bird in the whole world, and it's not just a sign of strength and freedom, it's a living legend of the Andes Mountains. Sitting on top of sharp rocks, it looks over the huge world below. Its super-sharp eyes don't miss a thing in the never-ending sky. Not many animals dare to go this high, but for the condor, this is home. A place of clouds, rocks and wind. Its giant wings spread out almost 3 meters from one tip to the other, making a huge shadow over the mountains. These enormous wings aren't just for looking good, they're the secret to how the condor rules the sky. With every slow, careful move, the condor controls the mountain winds, gliding easily where other birds would have a hard time. When it's in the air, it looks both grand and a little scary, a true ruler of the high Andes. For a bird this big, flapping its wings is super tiring and doesn't work very well. Instead, the condor has become really good at soaring. It rides the strong air currents that go up and the swirling warm air that rises from sunny hillsides, using the invisible paths of the wind to stay in the air for hours and hours. With hardly any flapping of its wings, it can travel huge distances, saving important energy in a place where every bit of energy matters. This ability to use the wind isn't just a trick, it's how it survives in the tough, unforgiving mountains. The journey to becoming a master of flying starts early. Young condors, who are still clumsy and not sure of themselves, gather on windy cliffs to try their first flights. Here, with their older family members watching closely, they learn to understand the small hints from the air, how to find the rising air currents, how to stay steady against the strong gusts of wind, and how to glide with very little effort. They copy the grown-ups, watching every move, every small adjustment, until flying becomes as natural as breathing. This learning period is long and hard, but it's super important for surviving in the mountains. Once they've mastered the wind, condors go on amazing trips across the Andes. With hardly a single wing beat, they cover huge distances, looking at the ground far below for even the smallest sign of dead animals. Their eyesight is truly amazing. They can spot a carcass from many kilometers away, even when the light is changing at sunrise or sunset. In these huge open areas, food is hard to find and there's a lot of competition. Every flight is a test of how long they can last, how patient they are, and how skilled they are. Soaring isn't just a way to travel, it's a way to stay alive. By gliding on warm air currents and updrafts, the condor saves energy. This is a huge advantage in a place where meals are unpredictable and often far apart. Being able to stay in the air for hours without getting tired lets the condor search huge areas, which makes it more likely to find food and outlast other birds. In the thin, cold air of the mountains, every moment spent gliding is a moment gained in the fight for life. Even when there are other birds competing, the condor prefers to be smart rather than fight. Instead of wasting energy in air battles, it often chooses to glide away, keeping its strength for the challenges ahead. This way of doing things shows how smart and flexible the condor is. In the high Andes, surviving isn't just about being strong, it's about knowing when to act and when to save your energy. With lives that can be longer than 50 years, the Andean condor is a true king of the mountains. The older ones, with their feathers showing the wisdom of many decades, earn respect from everyone who sees them. They represent the true spirit of the wild Andes, strong, grand, and free. Each condor is a living connection to the old ways of the mountains, a protector of the skies, and a symbol of how tough life is in one of the world's most challenging places. In the middle of Hokkaido's frozen forests, where everything is quiet and the snow makes every sound soft, a special animal takes to the air. The land looks like a white blanket, with old trees standing like quiet guards under a heavy winter sky. Here, the Siberian flying squirrel stays safe from dangers on the ground by smoothly gliding from tree to tree. With just one jump, it launches itself into the cold air, moving across the snowy area below without ever touching the ground. The reason it can fly so well is because of a special body part, a furry skin flap called the patagium, which stretches between its front and back legs. When the squirrel stretches its legs, this flap opens up, turning its body into a living parachute. The patagium isn't just skin, it's covered in thick, warm fur, which keeps the squirrel safe from the biting cold as it glides. From the highest branches, the flying squirrel can jump and glide for as far as 50 meters, cleverly steering with its wide, bushy tail. This tail works like a rudder, helping the squirrel change direction in the air, get around things, and land exactly where it wants on far-off branches. This amazing ability helps the squirrel in many ways. By gliding, the squirrel saves important energy during the tough winter months, when food is hard to find and every bit of energy counts. It also helps the squirrel get away from animals that hunt on the snowy ground below, turning the big white landscape into a safe path high above danger. Even though they usually like to be alone, these flying squirrels sometimes put aside their independence on the coldest nights. They gather in small groups, snuggling together in holes in trees to share warmth, a rare moment of peace in their otherwise lonely lives, and a sign of how harsh winter can be. For the Siberian flying squirrel, gliding isn't just a way to move around, it's what keeps it alive. In a world covered in ice and snow, this quiet, smooth flight is the key to staying alive, letting it do well in one of the toughest places on Earth. Deep within the lush, mist-shrouded rainforests of Southeast Asia, a world teeming with life and hidden wonders, an extraordinary spectacle unfolds high above the forest floor. Here the paradise tree snake, an animal that defies all expectations, takes to the air, gliding effortlessly from tree to tree. Unlike birds or bats, this snake possesses no wings, yet it has mastered the art of aerial movement, transforming itself into one of the rainforest's most unlikely flyers. To traverse the vast gaps between towering trunks, the paradise tree snake launches itself boldly into the void. In a remarkable display of adaptation, it flattens its body by extending its ribs outward, creating a broad concave surface that acts much like a wing. This unique shape allows the snake to generate lift and control its descent, turning a simple leap into a controlled glide. While airborne, the snake undulates its body in a graceful S-shaped motion, not unlike a swimmer moving through water. This undulation isn't just for show. It helps stabilize the snake, allowing it to steer and adjust its trajectory mid-flight, navigating the complex three-dimensional maze of the rainforest canopy. With remarkable agility, the paradise tree snake glides smoothly through the dense foliage, weaving between branches and leaves as it makes its way toward its destination. Its movements are so precise that it can land exactly where it intends, often on a narrow branch or a specific perch. This extraordinary gliding ability is not just a spectacle, it's a vital survival tool. The snake uses its aerial prowess to hunt nimble prey, such as lizards and small birds, catching them by surprise in mid-air. At the same time, gliding offers a swift escape from predators, allowing the snake to vanish into the labyrinthine canopy before danger can strike. Even its prey, like the remarkable Draco lizard, are skilled gliders themselves. These lizards possess wing-like flaps of skin that allow them to soar between trees, making the rainforest a true aerial battleground. The result is a breathtaking display of aerial agility. Predator and prey locked in a high-speed chase through the treetops, twisting and turning in mid-air, each using their unique adaptations to outmaneuver the other in a dramatic contest of survival. The paradise tree snake stands as a true master of flight without wings, a living marvel of evolution and ingenuity. Its story is a testament to nature's boundless creativity, revealing that in the rainforest, even the most unlikely creatures can conquer the skies. So, deep in the heart of Madagascar, there's this amazing place called Tsingy de Bemaraha. It's like the earth itself just exploded into a forest made of stone. When you look at it from up high, it seems totally out of this world, just an endless maze of super-sharp rock spikes stretching as far as you can see. These rock formations, made of limestone, have been shaped over thousands of years by wind and rain. They stick up from the ground like sharp knives, making a tricky maze of dangerous cracks and really tall spires. The ground is so tricky that even the most flexible animals would think twice about trying to cross it. But guess what? In this super tough place, there's a special kind of lemur called Deccan's sifaka, and it's figured out an amazing way to live here. This lemur is built like an acrobat, and it's a true master of jumping, able to cross the deadly gaps between these stone towers. Its strong back legs are like super springs, launching the sifaka across spaces that can be more than 30 feet wide. That's a distance most animals its size couldn't even dream of. Every single jump is a real show of strength, perfect aim, and incredible bravery. When it lands, the sifaka's special hands and feet, which have thick, soft pads, soak up the shock of hitting the ground. These natural shock absorbers keep the lemur from getting hurt, letting it grab onto the sharp rocks tightly and move confidently across the dangerous land. This amazing ability to move so well lets the sifaka get to little patches of food like leaves, fruit and flowers that grow on top of these limestone spires. These spots are way out of reach for other animals. In a place where food is hard to find and there's a lot of competition, this skill is like a lifesaver. Seriously, no other creature can get to these far-off places. The sifaka's special skills let it use a spot that no one else can get to, making sure it survives in this tough environment. With every jump, the sifaka turns this wild up-and-down landscape from a deadly obstacle course into its own personal playground. It's like a safe place where it can move freely and safely, high above any dangers lurking below. Every jump is a carefully thought-out risk, showing how strong, balanced and smart the sifaka is. Before each leap, it stops for a moment, looking closely at how far it needs to go and where it will land, knowing that one wrong move could be the end. Over many, many years, Deccan's sifaka has become a master at surviving in one of the world's toughest places. Sitting confidently on top of the stone forest, it looks out over its home, a living example of how tough, clever and amazing evolution can be. Every summer, along the banks of the Tisza River in Hungary, a breathtaking natural show happens, one that only occurs once a year. Millions of long-tailed mayflies fill the sky above the water, creating amazing living pictures in the golden light of the setting sun. This huge gathering isn't just cool to look at, it's a celebration of life in its quickest and most powerful form. After spending a full 3 years as tiny larvae at the bottom of the river, these insects suddenly burst to the surface. In an amazing change, they quickly become adult mayflies and start their short but incredible journey in the air. They don't have mouths, so they only use the energy they saved up during their years underwater. Their adult lives last only a few hours, but they are full of movement and purpose. The male mayflies start an amazing flying dance to find a mate, competing with fancy flight moves to get the female's attention. After they mate, many of them fall into the river, super tired from this quick but intense effort. The females, on the other hand, fly against the river's flow, fighting the water's power to carefully lay their eggs on the river's surface. After they finish their job, they also fall into the water, ending their short life but making sure their kind will continue. This huge, synchronized emergence confuses animals that hunt them, like fish and birds, who find themselves with an endless meal. This way, enough mayflies survive to complete their life cycle the next year. The short and amazing journey of the mayfly reminds us how powerful and urgent life is, and that beauty, even if it doesn't last long, leaves a lasting mark on nature. In just a few hours, many generations of mayflies come together above the river's surface, connecting the past with the present and rewriting the story of life with each new season. In the misty cloud forests of Costa Rica, a living gem flashes through the air, the fiery-throated hummingbird. Its iridescent feathers shimmer with every movement, catching the light in dazzling displays of emerald, sapphire and gold. This tiny bird is a marvel of engineering, perfectly adapted for a life in constant motion. With wings that beat up to 80 times per second, the hummingbird is capable of feats unmatched in the avian world. It can hover in place, dart backward, and execute sharp turns with surgical precision. Each wing beat is a testament to the bird's extraordinary musculature and coordination, allowing it to access nectar deep within flowers that other creatures cannot reach. But such relentless activity comes at a steep price. To sustain its rapid metabolism, the hummingbird must visit up to 1,000 flowers every single day, extracting tiny drops of nectar to fuel its high-octane lifestyle. Its heart can beat more than 1,200 times per minute, and it breathes at a rate that would exhaust most animals within moments. Competition for these vital resources is fierce. Hummingbirds defend their feeding territories with astonishing aggression, engaging in high-speed aerial battles that showcase their agility and determination. These mid-air skirmishes are not just displays of dominance, they are fights for survival, in a world where every calorie counts. Every movement, every calculated maneuver is a delicate balance between expending energy and securing enough food to survive. In this competitive environment, only the most efficient and determined individuals thrive. The hummingbird is a tiny wonder, living on the very edge of what is biologically possible. Its existence is a breathtaking dance of survival, beauty and perpetual motion, a jewel in the heart of the rainforest, forever in flight. So let's talk about the peregrine falcon, often called the arrow of the sky. It's not just the fastest animal on Earth, but also a true marvel of how nature designs things. With its super-smooth, aerodynamic body and really strong muscles, this bird of prey is built for incredible speed and amazing accuracy in the air. When it does its famous hunting dive, which we call a stoop, the peregrine falcon can hit mind-blowing speeds, going over 320 kilometers per hour. That's more than 200 miles per hour. In places like the Bay of Fundy in Canada, you can see these falcons showing off their amazing flying skills as they hunt across the huge open skies. Here, a mother falcon carefully teaches her young how to hunt. She guides them through all the tricky moves they need to chase and catch their food. They often go after groups of quick sandpipers that zip and twist above the water. The young falcons have to learn to guess where their prey will go, even when it moves in unexpected ways, getting better with every try. The peregrine's dive is like a perfect work of art when it comes to flying and staying in control. When it pulls its wings in close to its body, the falcon turns into a living rocket, cutting through the air with almost no drag. Its nostrils are specially made to control how air flows in at high speeds, so it doesn't get overwhelmed by the wind rushing past. Young falcons start learning by going after birds that have gotten separated from their group. These first lessons are super important because the young birds need to learn not just how to be fast, but also how to get their timing right, be accurate, and understand how their prey moves. Slowly, the young falcons get really good at making high-speed attacks, learning to grab birds right out of the air with amazing quickness. Every time they successfully catch something, it shows how much better they're getting and how well their mother taught them. This incredible speed and precision aren't just for looking cool, they're absolutely necessary for catching some of the world's fastest and hardest to catch prey. Because of these abilities, peregrine falcons can live on every continent except Antarctica, adapting to all sorts of places, from tall city buildings to remote cliffs. The peregrine falcon is truly a master of the skies, a living arrow showing off both beauty and strength. Its reign as the world's fastest animal proves how amazing natural selection is and how much we still have to learn about the mysteries of flight. Our journey has shown us a world where gravity isn't a problem, but a fun challenge that animals overcome in amazing ways. All over the world, many creatures have found incredible ways to fight against the Earth's pull. Each way they do it shows how creative nature can be. Think about flying squirrels. They stretch out their arms and legs and become like living kites, gliding easily through the air. Then there's the amazing paradise-flying snake which wiggles its way through the trees. Nature has so many different and cool ways for animals to move through the air. The huge condor, with its giant wings, rides the warm air currents high above the mountains. And the quick lemur jumps from tree to tree, doing amazing flips and tricks in the air, even though it doesn't actually fly. Every one of these animals that moves through the air has learned to live in its own special home. They turn challenges into chances. Whether they use their body shape to catch the wind or use the land to get speed, these animals show how incredibly good they are at finding new ways to live and survive. Their movements aren't just about staying alive. They are like beautiful works of art that have been perfected over thousands of years. The sky itself is a tricky and always changing place. It's full of air currents you can't see, winds that move around, and hidden paths. For those who are brave enough to go up in the air, it's super important to understand and use these things. Birds and gliders, which are like planes without engines, can understand the tiny clues the air gives them. They ride the rising air and warm currents, using their instincts and what they've learned to travel through a world that's both surprising and beautiful. When we see these creatures in action, it makes us feel amazed and full of wonder. Their special ways of acting and their amazing body changes remind us how endlessly creative life can be. Every jump, every glide, and every soaring flight tells a story of never giving up, of changing to fit in, and of always trying to survive in a world that has many challenges. There isn't just one way to be successful in nature. What makes evolution so smart is how many different ways it works. There are so many kinds of animals, and each one has its own plan for ruling the skies. From mammals that glide to monkeys that leap, from birds that soar to snakes that slither, The many ways animals fly or move like they're flying show how amazing life is at changing and bouncing back. Keeping these special animals safe isn't just about saving how pretty they are, it's about protecting the spirit of new ideas and wonder that they show us. By making sure they survive, we promise that the skies will always have their amazing spirits flying high. This will inspire people for many years to come with all the endless possibilities of life on Earth. Gap 2S, but the wonders of the air don't stop with the usual gliders and big soaring birds. In the secret corners of our planet, evolution has created even more amazing ways to fly. These creatures have completely rewritten the rules of flight in ways few could have ever imagined. Take the Draco lizard, for example, found in Southeast Asia. With thin, wing-like skin stretched between its long ribs, it leaps from tall trees, turning into a living, breathing glider in mid-air. It's truly a sight to behold, as it gracefully navigates through the forest canopy. Its bright, colourful flaps not only help it fly, but they also serve as a dazzling display to attract mates and warn off rivals. It's a beautiful example of how form and function work together in nature. Every flight is a calculated risk, needing quick adjustments to the wind and its angle. This shows millions of years of careful evolution, perfecting its gliding abilities. Dive beneath the surface, and the swordfish offers another amazing surprise. When it feels threatened, it shoots out of the ocean, spreading its large pectoral fins to catch the sea breeze. It's an incredible display of power and agility. For a few breathtaking moments it glides above the waves, escaping predators in a flash of silver. It's a truly spectacular escape, showcasing its unique ability to move between two different environments. Its flight doesn't rely on wings, but on the powerful push from its tail, turning the boundary between air and water into a temporary runway. It's a testament to the diverse ways life finds to move and survive. Even in the world of insects, flight takes on some really unusual forms. The bombardier beetle, for example, doesn't fly long distances. Instead, it uses quick, controlled bursts of chemical propulsion to jump and get away from danger. These are like mini explosions that launch it away from harm. Meanwhile, the butterfly's erratic, wobbly flight, once thought to be inefficient, is now understood as a brilliant strategy to avoid predators, making it almost impossible for hunters to predict its path. It's a dance of survival, full of unpredictable twists and turns. These animals remind us that flight isn't just one story, but a symphony of solutions. Each one is uniquely adapted to the challenges of its environment, showing the incredible diversity of life. They push the limits of what's possible, showing that the desire to rise, to escape, and to explore is woven into the very fabric of life itself. It's a powerful message of resilience and aspiration. As we marvel at these unexpected architects of flight, let's remember the sky isn't owned by just one shape or one species. It's a shared frontier, open to everyone who dares to dream, to adapt, and to leap into the unknown. In their innovation, we find inspiration. In their resilience, hope. And in their flight, a reminder that the world will always hold new wonders just waiting to be discovered, right beyond the edge of what we already know. Gap 2S. As we marvel at the incredible ways nature has adapted for flight, it's super important to understand the science that makes these amazing feats possible. Gliding and soaring, which are some of the coolest ways animals fly, follow rules that have been perfected over millions of years of evolution. Gap 1S. Let's take a look at the Draco lizard from Southeast Asia. With a flick of its limbs, it launches itself into the air, spreading its wing-like flaps that stretch out from its long ribs. These wing-like membranes create lift by controlling how air flows around them, letting the lizard glide gracefully from one tree to another. The Draco lizard's glide is a tricky dance between lift, drag, and gravity. Every jump is carefully planned to go as far as possible while using the least amount of energy. Gap 1S. Now let's look up at the sky, where big birds like the bald eagle rule. These amazing birds use thermals, which are rising columns of warm air, to float effortlessly. By circling inside these thermals, eagles can gain height without flapping their wings, saving precious energy for hunting. The shape of their wings, which are wide and slightly curved, is perfect for catching and riding these air currents. It's a perfect balance of lift and drag. Gap 1S. Going down to the ocean, the flying fish gives us another amazing example. When danger is near, they push themselves out of the water with strong pushes of their tail. Once in the air, their long wing-like pectoral fins spread wide, catching the air and letting them glide over the water for amazing distances. This special ability to go from water to air shows how smoothly the rules of water movement and air movement work together. Gap 1S. Even in the world of insects, the rules of physics are fully on display. Dragonflies, with their 2 pairs of wings that move on their own, can do graceful moves that seem to defy gravity. By changing the angle and speed of its wings, it creates lift and thrust, letting it hover, dart, and even fly backward. This skill in air movement makes the dragonfly one of nature's most efficient flyers. Gap 1S. Then there are the maple tree seeds, nature's quiet gliders. As they fall, their unique winged shape creates a spinning motion which slows their fall and lets the wind carry them far from the parent tree. This simple and effective design makes sure the species spreads across wide areas, showing how clever nature's engineering is. Gap 1S. These different examples show us the universal rules of flight. Lift, thrust, drag and gravity, used in many ways across the animal kingdom. Each species, with its own special adaptations, shows the clever solutions that evolution has created to conquer the sky. Gap 1S. In these natural engineers we find a deep connection to the basic forces that control our world. They remind us that flight in all its forms is a dance with the very elements that make up our existence. And as we keep exploring and understanding these wonders, we get deeper insights into the complex web of life on Earth. Gap 2S. So, the next time you see a bird soaring high, or a lizard gliding between trees, or a dragonfly zipping through the air, take a moment to appreciate the amazing physics at work. These are not just acts of survival, they are also proof of nature's endless creativity. In their flight, we see the purest forms of freedom, a harmony between life and the rules that govern it. Gap 1S. And so, the sky isn't just a world of possibilities, it's a living classroom, where every glide and soar tells a story of adaptation, toughness, and a never-ending search for freedom. For millions of years the sky has called to creatures on Earth, not just those that soar, but also those that jump, glide and float through the air, even though they never truly fly. The story of moving through the air isn't just about birds and insects, it's woven into the long history of countless creatures that don't fly, each one adapting in amazing ways to use the air. Imagine the old forests, where the ancient relatives of today's gliding mammals first climbed into the trees. The earliest relatives of flying squirrels, called eomia, grew loose flaps of skin, like early membranes, that stretched between their limbs. With each new generation, these membranes grew wider, letting them glide farther and with more control. This change wasn't about flying in the usual way, but about surviving, getting away from animals that wanted to eat them, finding food, and moving between trees without using much energy. Across continents, marsupials like the Australian sugar glider developed a similar solution. Convergent evolution, where unrelated species develop similar traits, shaped these tiny air travellers. Their membranes, formed over millions of years of need, became natural parachutes, allowing them to travel over 30 metres in a single leap. Each leap is a reminder that evolution finds a way, even without wings. Even in the dark rainforest, the ancestors of the Draco lizard faced a world of tall trees and fierce competition. Over countless generations, their ribs grew longer and their skins stretched, forming living wings. These reptiles don't truly fly, but their sleek bodies let them claim new areas in the tree canopy. An evolutionary arms race slowly unfolding high above the forest floor. The skies of the past were also home to animals that are long gone. In New Zealand, the moa, huge, flightless birds, roamed the open plains. Even though they stayed on the ground, their closest relatives, the tinamous, can still flutter awkwardly above the ground, a leftover of lost flight. Their story is a powerful reminder that evolution doesn't always move forward. Sometimes it gives up flight, adapting to a grounded life, but never forgetting the potential of the sky. Even today, some frogs in Southeast Asia and South America have developed webbed feet and flat bodies, allowing them to parachute from tree to tree. These flying frogs are living proof that the desire to move through the air goes beyond needing wings. From mammals to reptiles and from birds to amphibians, the evolutionary history of flightless flyers is a record of cleverness and adaptation. Their journeys through the air, short, daring and beautiful, remind us that the dream of flight isn't just for those who master the skies, but belongs to everyone who dares to jump. In their quiet glides and bold leaps we see nature's endless creativity, proof that the spirit of flight can thrive even without wings. For thousands of years, the environment and climate have woven a grand symphony, guiding the evolution of flight techniques in the animal kingdom. Every note, every gust of wind, every pause, every change in seasons, this natural concert has shaped the skies and the creatures that move through them. Imagine the ancient forests of the Carboniferous period, when Earth was a warm, fertile and humid place. Towering tree ferns and giant horsetail plants formed a thick canopy, a paradise for the first flying creatures. In this green world, giant dragonflies with wings spanning up to 70 centimeters dominated the air. The high oxygen levels at that time allowed these insects to grow to enormous sizes, and their flight was a delicate balance perfected by the rich atmosphere. Their wings, as intricate as stained glass, caught the light and carried them through a prehistoric paradise, a testament to the power of environmental abundance. Let's fast forward to the icy expanses of the Pleistocene epoch. Here, in the grip of the Ice Age, cold winds sculpted the lives of creatures that dared to take flight. The great albatross, with wings stretching over 3 meters, mastered the art of dynamic soaring. By harnessing the energy of wind currents sweeping across the frozen oceans, these birds could travel thousands of miles with minimal effort. The harsh climate honed their skills, making them the ultimate long-distance travelers of the sky. In the modern era, the tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia offer another chapter in this symphony. The thick, multi-layered canopy has led to the emergence of countless gliding and flying creatures. The Draco lizard, with its wings extended from its ribs, leaps from tree to tree, its flight a marvel of adaptation. The humid, crowded environment necessitated this mode of movement, allowing the lizard to escape predators and find food with agility and grace. Each glide is a dance with the air, a silent ode to the forest that shaped its evolution. In the African savanna, the hot, dry climate has influenced the flight of birds like the secretary bird. These ground hunters rely on short bursts of flight to catch prey or escape danger. The open, sun-drenched plains shaped their wings for quick takeoffs and agile maneuvers. Their flight is not about endurance, but about precision, a rapid response to the demands of their environment. Even the oceans have played a role in this evolutionary symphony. Flying fish, with their sleek bodies and wing-like fins, leap from the water, gliding over the waves to evade predators. The vast open sea has no hiding places, so these fish took to the air, their flight a brief escape from the dangers below. The salt-laden breeze and the rhythm of the tides shaped their remarkable ability to blur the line between sea and sky. Climate change continues to be a powerful conductor in this symphony, altering habitats and forcing species to adapt. As polar ice caps melt and temperatures rise, some birds are changing their migration patterns, while others are developing new flight techniques to adapt to changing winds. The environment remains a dynamic force, always present in the background, guiding the future of flight. The story of flight is not just about wings and feathers, but it's a story of the climates and environments that shaped them. Every creature's journey through the air is a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of life on Earth. As we look up at the sky, we remember that the symphony of evolution continues, with every note played by the wind, the sun, and the changing seasons. In this grand concert, every flying creature, from the smallest insect to the most powerful bird, is a musician. Every flight a melody, every glide a harmony. Together, they create a masterpiece that spans across ages, a tribute to the lasting connection between life and our ever-changing Earth. For centuries, humans have looked up at the sky, amazed by how easily birds and insects fly. This wonder didn't just spark dreams of flying, it also inspired big steps forward in technology. Welcome to a world where the amazing ways nature flies help human innovation, a field known as biomimicry. Imagine Leonardo da Vinci, the brilliant thinker of the Renaissance, drawing his plans for flying machines. His careful observations of birds in flight led him to create designs that would lay the groundwork for modern aviation. Even though his machines never actually flew, his work lit a spark that lasted for centuries. Fast forward to the early 1900s, where the Wright brothers, inspired by how birds fly, made the first powered flight. They carefully studied the shapes of bird wings and how birds fly and put these natural designs into their airplanes. The result? The birth of aviation, a huge step that changed how people travel forever. But the influence of animal flight goes far beyond just airplanes. Let's talk about drones, where engineers look to nature to solve tough problems with how things move through the air. Dragonfly wings, with their ability to hover and make sharp turns, inspired the design of quadcopters. These unmanned flying vehicles copy the smooth movement and steadiness of insects, making them super useful for everything from farming to helping in disasters. In medicine, studying how bats fly has led to new ideas for artificial limbs. Bats with their flexible wing membranes show a special mix of strength and skill. Researchers have used this knowledge to create artificial limbs that are more adaptable and responsive, making life better for countless people. Even city planning has been influenced by flying principles. The Eastgate Centre in Harare, Zimbabwe, is an amazing example of biomimicry. Its design, inspired by the self-cooling termite mounds of Africa, uses natural airflow to control the temperature. This smart idea lowers the building's energy use, showing how the flight of a humble insect can inspire sustainable city development. The car industry has also learned from the animal world. The sleek shapes of fish and birds led to cars that are more aerodynamic, which means less air resistance and better fuel efficiency. The beak of a kingfisher, which allows it to smoothly dive from air into water with hardly any splash, influenced the design of high-speed trains, making travel quieter and more efficient. As we move into the future, the possibilities of biomimicry in flight and beyond are endless. Scientists are studying how birds and insects fly in groups to create self-flying robots that can navigate tricky environments. These new ideas promise great things for search and rescue missions, keeping an eye on the environment and even exploring space. In the grand tapestry of life, animal flight is a constant source of inspiration. Every flap of a wing, every glide is a testament to nature's cleverness. As we keep uncovering the secrets of flight, we not only gain a deeper appreciation for the natural world, but we also open up new possibilities for human progress. So the next time you see a bird soaring in the sky or a dragonfly darting over a pond, remember that these creatures are more than just amazing to watch. They are the unseen architects of our future, guiding us toward a world where the harmony between nature and technology pushes us to new heights. In the huge space above us, nature's creativity knows no bounds. While the classic flapping of wings and gliding on air currents have always captured our imagination, recent discoveries have shown us even stranger and rarer ways animals move through the air. These are hidden strategies that challenge what we thought we knew about flying. Meet the Draco lizard from Southeast Asia, a true expert at controlled landings. Unlike birds or bats, it doesn't truly fly, and it doesn't just fall. Instead, it spreads out special rib-like wings, turning its body into a living glider. With a flick of its tail, it steers itself through the forest trees, using its skin flaps to catch the wind, changing its path with tiny muscle adjustments. Each glide is a carefully planned jump, a silent dance through the green sky. But the amazing things don't stop there. High up in the cloud forests of South America, tiny flying frogs leap from branch to branch. Their toes, with wide webs, spread out to make temporary parachutes. With each jump they control their fall, twisting in the air and gently landing on leaves far away. For these frogs, the air isn't just a gap to cross, it's a three-dimensional playground. Diving into the ocean, we find the flying squid, a wonder of movement across different environments. In a flash, it shoots out of the water, pushing itself with a jet of water, then spreads its fins and tentacles, gliding above the waves for many feet at a time. Scientists only recently filmed this in detail, showing a creature that blurs the lines between the sea and the sky. Even the world of insects holds secrets. The bristletail, a simple insect without wings, has developed a spring-loaded jump. With one push, it launches itself into the air, then uses its body shape to ride the wind, drifting unexpectedly to escape from predators. No wings, no gliding membranes, just pure adaptation and the physics of survival. And in the dark caves of Southeast Asia, the smallest bamboo bat has surprised researchers with its flying crawl. By mixing wing flaps with quick alternating limb movements, it can cling to vertical surfaces while partly in the air, a mix of flying and climbing, opening up new ways to hunt and hide in tight spaces. These rare and newly found ways of moving through the air remind us that flying isn't just one solution. It's a whole range of possibilities. Every twist, jump and glide is an answer to the challenges of survival, a testament to the never-ending creativity of evolution. As we keep exploring the hidden corners of the world, who knows what other secrets of the sky are waiting to be found? In the dance of nature's rarest flying creatures, we get a glimpse of life's endless possibilities and the never-ending inspiration for our own dreams of flight.